All right, y'all, so in today's video, we're gonna talk about 8 ways to find creative leads for your real estate investing business coming up. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs. Welcome to another video. Listen, the other day I released a video on my top wholesaling list in order to create fast profit paydays for your real estate investing business. Now, along with the fast profit paydays, I also told you about some lists that you can implement in order to create long-term relationships, to create huge paydays on the back end. One thing I want you to remember is that the money is in a follow-up in real estate. I know you heard that before, but it really is true when it comes to marketing and building relationships with people over time. That's exactly what you're doing when you're marketing for deals, when you're getting leads in your real estate business. You're building relationships with people over time. So essentially, let's say you send someone a postcard one month, you give them a phone call the second month, a text message the third month. Over time, you're building a relationship with these people. Don't ever forget that. This is a relationship building business. And the more relationships you build, the more money you will ultimately make as a real estate investor. Think about it like this. What does the top franchises do in your local area? Generally, they'll run a commercial on TV every 15 minutes or a radio ad once an hour or whatever the case may be. What they're doing is they're subliminally building a relationship with you over time. And that's exactly what you want to do as a real estate investor. You want to hit sellers from multiple modalities, multiple angles, because you never know which seller is going to respond to what type of message at what time. So you want to be in front of the seller's face at the right time when they're ready to sell so that you can help them solve their problems. That's essentially what you're doing as a marketer. And that's exactly why I mentioned that you're a marketer first in that last video, you're a problem solver second, and then you're a real estate investor last. And again, if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, be sure to check it out up at the top. In that last video, again, I shared with you the wholesale list. In today's video, I want to share with you what works the best for me as far as finding creative deals in my real estate investing business. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first list that works really well for me when it comes to finding creative deals, especially in this market, are pre-foreclosure leads. These are people who are facing foreclosure right now, and they're either looking to save their property or they're looking to sell their property to save their credit. This is where you can step in as a real estate investor in order to help save them from foreclosing on their property so that they can be able to go out and get another property or another home for themselves. And then you can relieve them from any type of crediting situations that they may be facing in the near future. The pre-foreclosure list, especially right now, being that all of this chaos is going on in the world, you can truly help people by getting them out of their pre-foreclosure situation, bringing them current and taking over their debt that's on that particular property without putting that debt directly into your personal name. So make sure you're focusing on the pre-foreclosure list in today's market. The second list that you can focus on is the expired listing list. Now, when it comes to expired listings, a lot of times these sellers put their houses on the market, and most of the time it doesn't sell either because of location, but mainly because of price. Anything sells at the right price. Always remember that. So 9 times out of 10, if a listing expired on the market in today's market, it's primarily because it was priced too high. So what if you were able to contact these sellers and offer them a creative scenario where you can go ahead and take the property, you can purchase the property from them and relieve them from ownership of the property and create a win-win situation that works for you and for them. This is where focusing on expired listings come into play. A lot of times you can pay more for a property if you're focusing on creative deals versus wholesaling and be able to come up on your price to be able to get closer to what the seller is asking so that you can create that win-win situation. So make sure you're focusing on expired listings in today's market as well. Like expired listings, there's also listings that have been on the market for a very long time. So you have those long time on market type of deals. These are listings that have been on the market for more than 90 days. Those are a little tougher to find in a market like this, but occasionally you will come across these types of leads. So if you focus on properties that have been on the market for a very long time, 90 days or more, chances are these listings will eventually expire. But what you can do is you can contact these sellers before the listing expire, knowing that the property has been on the market for a long time. And the longer the property has been on the market, the less activity they're actually getting on the property. And you can be able to offer them some type of creative situation where you can pay closer to what they're asking, just like you can with the expired listings, in order to be able to create some type of winning situation between you and the seller. So you have pre-foreclosure leads as the first one. You have expired listings as the second one. And then the third, you have a long time on market. The fourth category that you can tap into are vacant properties, but with a twist. Now, when you're wholesaling properties, normally you focus on vacant properties with high equity. With creative investing, you can literally focus on vacant properties with a mortgage with very little equity to be able to create a win-win situation between you and the seller. A lot of times when sellers live out of state and a property is vacant, or the seller may be local, but the property is vacant and they have to pay 2 mortgages, guess what? That seller becomes motivated to sell. So if you can create a situation where you can take over that mortgage payment for the seller and create a creative real estate investing scenario that works out as a win-win between you and the seller, notice how many times I said win-win. You're looking to create win-win situations, solve problems for sellers. And by you offering the seller to take that debt off of their hands, a lot of the times these sellers with vacant properties and still paying a mortgage on that property will be open to other scenarios that will allow you to make some type of deal happen with them. So focus on vacant properties with mortgages. The fifth category that you can tap into are free and clear properties. Now, these types of properties make really good deals when it comes to seller financing types of situations. And the reason for that is because the seller has a property with no mortgage on it. So they can basically create any type of scenario that they want in order to be able to sell their properties. A lot of times they don't mind collecting payments over time. And if they don't mind collecting their payments over time and they get the tax benefits and all these other benefits that come with still having their hands in the property, guess what? They'll be more acceptable when it comes to creative solutions to be able to sell their property. They get cash flow every month. They don't have to take a lump sum up front and pay all the tax dollars on that lump sum. There's a lot of benefits to it. And if you can sell that benefit to someone who has a free and clear property, you'll be able to create these creative finance types of deals in order to create, again, winning situations between you and the seller. The sixth category that you can tap into are low equity deals. Just like the vacant properties with mortgages on them or very little equity, these low equity deals make it harder for the seller to be able to cash out on properties. But just like any of these creative strategies, you can find a solution as long as the seller is willing to be open to taking their payments over time or allowing you to take over their debt. These low equity situations will allow the seller to get out of their problem property and allow you to create some type of winning situation for your bank account and for the seller on the other end. And that brings me to the seventh key point. Now, just like with wholesaling, you have for sale by owners. In the last video, I mentioned using for sale by owners to build long-term relationships with them. Now, a lot of times when it comes to for sale by owners, you find them through driving for dollars. And if that's the case, most of the time, these sellers are asking market value for their properties. Well, with wholesaling, you obviously can't pay market value when it comes to creating some type of deal in order to create profits in your wholesaling business. But in the creative world, you can pay market value and still be able to create a winning spread on the back end. So focus on driving for dollars and looking for those for sale by owner signs in your local areas. Contact those sellers, see if you can work something out with them close to what they're asking, but you purchase it on your terms. And a lot of times, if the house has been on the market for a little while, the seller's been trying to sell it for a little while, chances are they're gonna be more open to hearing what you have to say. That brings me to number 8, and that's rejected cash offers. A lot of wholesalers burn through leads that they feel are not deals simply because there isn't enough equity in the property. And again, that brings me back to the other key points: low equity, vacant properties with mortgages and things like that, right? If a wholesaler feels that there isn't enough equity in the property and the seller rejected their low ball cash offer, sellers would generally be more open to listening to what you have to say if you can provide multiple offers on a property. Here's what I mean. If you're a wholesaler and you're targeting wholesale types of leads, and occasionally you come across a lead where the seller just can't make that type of deal work, or you lowball the seller and the seller's just not willing to accept your offer, at the end of the day, they may be more inclined to accepting a creative offer if you come up in price. So if you position your offer in a way where you can use your lowball offer as bait to be able to get them to accept the higher offer closer to their asking price, but on your terms, you'll be able to create a lot of deals that way. So if you're a wholesaler and you've gone through a ton of leads over the last few months, I recommend going back to your old rejected cash offer leads and seeing if you can rekindle that relationship to build some type of creative offer with those leads as well. So rejected cash offer leads is just another great way to generate some creative deals in your real estate investing business. So those are my top 8 lists that I recommend you focus on as a creative real estate investor. Hope you found benefit in these lists, and do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what type of list you're focused on if you're doing creative deals right now as well. I'm eager to know. And at the same time, share this video with all your friends. Share it with all the wholesalers you know who's looking to get into creative investing. And also be on the lookout really soon for my hybrid wholesaling course that's going to be coming out, which will cover all of these strategies in one whole program. So go ahead and like this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.